admit my last drugstore video did not go to plan, and it ended up being a face of dry flaky crisp. And I did not want to leave you on a cliffhanger with good drugstore makeup. So today we are doing a full face of actually good drugstore makeup that is some new, some old in my collection, because I realized even if things are old in my collection, it might be new to you and it might be something that you're interested in. So we're doing it. Hi, my name is Rudy. If you're new here, we talk about skincare, makeup, we do vlogs, we kind of do old YouTube with new makeup. However, today we're gonna do old makeup, old YouTube, some new makeup, affordable vibes. Some of the stuff in this video, if you have not watched my last drugstore video, I would go back and do that, because the point was for me to be trying all new drugstore skincare and makeup, and because of the skin tint that was used underneath all of my makeup, it just looked awful and I hated it. But today I have tried everything that we are going to use today, and I feel very confident that I can say these are good drugstore products. I did also go out and just get some new things to talk about that we won't use in this video, but we can talk about what I think about them and then maybe use them in the future. So if you need a good affordable look, and today we're gonna do like a pink spring sort of look. I'm going to Beetlejuice tonight with my friends, the musical, Beetlejuice the musical. And I just wanna do something light and fun because it is 79 degrees out right now on March 14th. And that's global warming, but we are not here for a long time, we're here for a good time. So, you know, 79 degrees, might as well go see Beetlejuice. I would love it if you would subscribe if you're interested in that, and let's get into it. Okay, I have to put this on first, but we're starting with the same lip oil that I used last time. This is the new Neutrogena Hydro Boost lip oil. It is amazing. It's truly a really good lip oil, and I will be using this at the end of our routine as well to top the lip product that we're gonna use. But I just always have to have something to prep the lips before we start in with the rest of our look, or else my lips will be drier than a bone by the end, because I don't know if you noticed that I like to talk. There's actually quite a few, well, I guess there's only 2 Neutrogena products in this video. I was gonna do more, but I realized we talked about some of them in the other video, which is their new clicky concealer pen. I really like that, but because I just talked about it, I wanted to focus on something else. But before we do that, I just wanted to say, I have not found a brow gel at the drugstore that has done it for me the way I need it to be done. My favorite brow gel, point blank, is the Rare Beauty laminating brow gel. I have gone through like 3 of these, and this just came out like literally within the last year. It has its Berry Best Award sticker, and I just had to do it because if my brows don't look good, then I will feel off about the whole look. However, I am going to use the new Build a Brow from Maybelline, which I used in that last video, to fill in my brows. And I have been using this like literally every single time I do my brows because of how hair-like the strokes are on this product. I am super impressed with it. I wear the shade Ash Brown, and I just do small little flicks upwards starting at the root to get those like perfect little hair-like strokes, and it makes my brows look so full. I actually like this pen better than the Glossier Brow Flick. I like the one from NYX as well a lot. That one is called the Lift and Snatch, but this is just the one that I have open right now. I absolutely love the applicator. Like, look how much more full that looks. But the gel on the other side that you're supposed to set it with, one, you only get this much gel. Like, that is not enough gel for anyone, but also it doesn't hold the way that I need. So I just use the pen side, and I find that this is light enough that you aren't gonna have like a huge amount of pigment that shows up right when you lay it down, which is why I like it so much. It's very buildable, hence the name Build-A-Brow. Whereas the Glossier Lash or Brow Flick, I feel like it gives you pretty strong pigment right when you put it on, and you have to kind of like be very careful. With this one, it's gonna leave you room to make mistakes and decide how you want it to look, which I can really appreciate. And if you like the look of a natural, like fluffy brow, these little brow pens are definitely the way to go. Now that we've got that done, let us get into our complexione. This is one of my favorite drugstore primers slash primers, full stop. Last time in our video, we used the CoverGirl primer. This is a color corrector serum, but because it's so hot out today, I really just wanna go really lightweight with everything. So I'm going to use my tried and true Neutrogena Radiant Primer in Serum. This is from the Healthy Skin line, and it is a peptide-based serum that has just a little bit of like a bronzing and glowy effect to it without actually having a like true bronzer effect. So you guys know I've been obsessing over the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Hue Drops. Those leave an actual bronzing effect on the skin. This just leaves you with like a hydrated sort of glowy look, and anyone can use this because it has a transparent base, and it just gives you like a nice hydrated feel to your skin before you go in with your foundations, concealers. It's very lightweight. I think it's water-based, if that's something that's important to you. And it's a little thin, it's a little thick, it's fragrance-free, and it gives you a really nice natural glow from within because of those little, I don't want to say glitter particles because they're not glitter, but like it's a slight shimmer to the skin, but blended in, like it just looks very glowy. So I will always repurchase this, and I really hope that they never discontinue it because it is just so good. It makes my skin feel really plump. But because it is water-based, I like to go pretty quickly in with my next product or else it will just kind of sink into the skin. And this is new, and I'm really excited because I think that this is a winner chicken dinner. This is new from Wet n Wild. This is their Bare Focus Niacinamide Skin Tint. It has 5% niacinamide, which is high. So if niacinamide bothers you, just keep that in mind that this has a lot of it in there. The little sticker that was on it says it has 24 hours of hydration, and it was clinically tested on 32 volunteers. Cool. I'm not wearing it for 24 hours, so that's fine. It also has hyaluronic acid and peony extract. I have mine in the shade Light Warm. This is a glass bottle. This was like $6. Okay, I'm down for that. That's amazing, Wet n Wild. I love Wet n Wild. I will say the shade range on this was lacking. I am not light warm. I am like usually light medium, right in the middle. And this was like on the lighter side. I'm just gonna start with a little bit. And what I've been doing recently is taking the product that I put on my face and blending it with my fingers, like just kind of where I want to eventually get it to. And what I've noticed is that this helps with keeping the pigment that I want in like the right places before I go in and use a brush. Kind of like how people use those spatulas to thin out their product. I'm just doing that with my finger because I want to keep the majority of the coverage focused on the top of my cheek. So it helps me just lightly blend it down with the brush a lot easier than if I just put the drop on and then had to swipe it down with my brush. So that's been working for me really well with my foundations as well as my concealers. Like I've just been slightly blending them out with my finger, and then the brush, it just takes no time at all to actually blend it into the skin because the brush doesn't have to do that much work. And look how pretty that is. It is very natural. I would definitely recommend using a hydrating serum before just to keep that little bit of luminosity to it. Otherwise it could lean slightly more matte. But oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It's got a, like as you can see, it's not like running down my face. So it's got a little bit of a thicker consistency to it, but it still has a little bit of that serum-y feel. So if that's something that you like, which I do, if you know me, my favorite skin tints are serums. The Summer Fridays is my absolute favorite, and it is a very thin hydrating serum. And I like that this one has like a little bit of a thickness to it to really wrap on the skin and give you that nice hydrated look. It's so easy to blend, and it really does help cover your redness. I would say it has a good light to medium coverage with a brush. If you were to use this with a sponge, I would say it's probably gonna go light on you, but with a brush, look at that. All that redness is gone, and I am just loving this. This actually has 1.08 fluid ounces as well, which most foundations cap at 1 ounce. So you're getting a good amount of product for a very good price, and it is truly really beautiful. I wore this for like almost a full day, and I thought it looked great by the end of the day. Like it looked like, you know, I had been wearing foundation for the day, but it hadn't broken apart, and it just still looked very natural. So this is definitely a win in my book. Wet n Wild, honestly, they make some amazing makeup. Sometimes they have a miss, but a lot of times I am intrigued by what they put out and I want to try it, which we will be talking about another new Wet n Wild product once we get to the blush section. It is really, really pretty. And if you tend to like the complexion products that I recommend and they jive on your skin, I say totally try it because, I mean, come on. If you can find your shade, do it, do it, do it. Okay, so for concealer, I made a whoopsie, and this is my fault, but also forgive me. Maybelline's eraser line, they had the original concealer, well, no, they had the brightener, the original brightener, which is like a pink shade in their eraser line. Then they came out with the concealer, which is what I have here, this multi-use concealer. Then they came out with a highlighter version of this, which I don't have anymore. I decluttered recently because it was just old and crotchety. And now they dropped a foundation in this clicker form. So when I saw this, it was in like the viral news section with some of the other products that we're going to talk about. So I thought that this was new because they dropped another product in this same format, but it's not. This is the old school Maybelline Instant Age Rewind eraser concealer. However, I have not tried this in years, literal years, and I picked it up. I tried it and I was like, oh my God, why did I stop using this? Like, I think that it was ahead of its time in terms of like the coverage level and what it offers you, because it's a pretty light coverage and it's pretty skin-like. And when this came out, that was not the vibe. The vibe was, fuller coverage, like we wanted the matte look. So I don't know that this got the attention that it deserved during its heyday. So I'm bringing it back out because I really, really enjoyed this concealer, and I am wearing shade 120. Again, I just like used my fingers to warm it up a little bit and spread it so that my brush barely has to do any work to just blend that into the skin. It's truly my favorite thing. It sounds like such a little hack, but I think that I was getting lazy with like how I was blending my products, where I was just slapping them on my face and then taking forever to blend because I was making the brush do all the work. So I think by blending it a little bit with my fingers, it's just helping everybody. It definitely brightened up the under eyes. And this is another multi-use product, which I like because I always have to correct a little bit of redness on my face in certain areas, like this lower cheek here. I don't think it's rosacea, but it's just like a general redness that always shows up. Obviously the sides of my nose are always red, and my chin. So I love a concealer that can do it all. And obviously if you wanted to have a glowier, lighter look, you could use a sponge for any of these steps, but right now I just don't have a sponge handy, and it looks super beautiful still with just a brush. So I am a fan. I'm glad to have it back in my routine, and I just think it was kind of slept on. I really do at the time, and now she back, baby. She back. Because my skin is really dry right now, I accidentally laid outside. It wasn't an accident, but I just didn't know this was gonna happen. 2 days ago when it was nice out, I was outside with my dogs for a couple hours, and I literally got sunburnt. I don't know if you can tell from like my chest, but I got sunburnt. So my skin is really dry, like my nose is cracked from the sun. So I'm gonna skip a powder today and just go pretty cream focused. So I am gonna reuse that Milani cream bronzer today that we used in the last drugstore video. Again, I have the shade Hey Honey. I think I have some darker shades that I'll probably pull out as we get into spring and summer. But right now, this one is like a really natural sort of cool toned brown. And I like that. Like, I'm so into a cool toned bronzer right now. I just think it looks so natural and it makes you look so snatched. This is a sort of cream to powder bronzer, which is interesting because they have a blush version in this line, and it's not cream to powder. It's like a true cream, which I love. And because of this one was cream to powder, I like didn't want to try the blushes because I don't go for cream to powder blushes, but it's not. It is a regular schmegular beautiful cream blush. It kind of reminds me of the Tower 28 blushes in consistency, but this is pretty user friendly. I think if you've never tried a cream bronzer before, this is one that I would recommend to test out because it gives you the ability to learn how to blend with a cream while still having like a lighter pigment and getting a powdery finish if you're used to a powder bronzer. And I am really loading it on because that skin tint was too light for me. I did also bring out a powder bronzer, which I might use if I feel like I'm still looking too pale after blush, which is the Revlon Skin Lights. This is my favorite drugstore bronzer of all time. It is absolutely stunning. This is a high-end bronzer in drugstore packaging. Absolutely is. Now getting into the main meat of this video, which is the fact that I was ashamed that I didn't have any new drugstore blushes, so I went and I got like 6, and I probably shouldn't have done that, but it is what it is, and I love blushes. So the first thing was the e.l.f. Camo liquid blush, because one of you guys was like, I know that you like are not a fan of the Rare Beauty blushes, but I think you should try it anyways because I think you might be surprised at how much easier it is to blend. So I grabbed one of those in the shade Suave Mauve, and this is a swatch of that one. Sorry, the sun keeps poking in and out. It looks like it would be really pretty and easy to blend and not too overly pigmented, so that's an option. But I also grabbed these two off of a recommendation from one of you guys. These are new as well. They're Wet n Wild Mega Glow. Is this Mega Glow? No, this is the Bare Focus line. This is the Mega Glow line. Mega Glow lip and cheek color. And I thought these colors were absolutely gorgeous, and I picked up Rosy Romance and Berry True. So I have worn the shade Rosy Romance, and it is stunning. It's actually very similar to the one from e.l.f., but I kind of think I'm gonna like these more because they have a naturally hydrated look to them, whereas the e.l.f. one kind of dries down, I don't know, more satin to matte. I don't know if you can tell that difference. Like, these are the Wet n Wild, and this one is the e.l.f. It just has a naturally more like sheen-like finish. Then I grabbed the Rimmel Kind and Free Tinted Multi-Stick in the shade Berry Sweet, which is a cheek stick. And I grabbed this because I actually love the Kind and Free lip balms from this line. These are really nice tinted lipsticks that have a good amount of pigment to them, and they feel really nice on the lips. Rimmel obviously hasn't come out with anything in a while that has impressed me besides that, and I just don't know if this is going to because of how pigmented it is. I think it's maybe my fault for getting a really deep shade, but that's like one swipe and it was full-blown pigment. And I'm kind of looking for something a little bit easier to play with today. Then last but not least, we have the new Pixi On The Glow blush in the pH adjusting color. Obviously, I was like, oh my God, are we done with this? Like, I'm so tired of this. However, I do like to have one pH adjusting blush in my collection because I do love the color that it shows up on me. And I decided that I'm going to keep this one because of the glow that it leaves on my skin. I have been using this as like a topper for all of my blushes just to give me that extra little pink cheek, and it gives me this beautiful glow that I feel like I don't even need a highlighter. Like, I have not worn a highlighter on my cheeks because I've been using this. So I think we should do a mixture of like, I think maybe should we try the e.l.f. camo and then put this on top to give it a little bit of a glow? Let's try that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I wish you were here and you could tell me what to do. I just think the berry shades are not the move right now. Maybe in another video, but today I wanna go like more light pink pretty. All right, so let's pick the right brush here. Something a little dense that's not going to move the product around too much. Because my fear is that this is just gonna get out of control and I'm gonna be this big ass pink machine. I'm gonna use this Say brush. It's a double-ended brush and it was for their blushes, and it's got a good density to it. And I'm gonna put a little bit of this blush on the back of my hand first. It's a really pretty shade. And then I'm going to dab it on the face with this brush and really soak it into the brush so that it shows up nice and blended kind of before I even put it down. The problem with liquid blushes is, in my opinion, is that they require a lot of work, whereas a cream blush that's like in a stick or perhaps in a pot or a pan is so much easier because you can just slap it on and not have to worry about the fact that you're going to blend it in the wrong place, or it just has a little bit more of a thickness to it, so you have less of a chance of it going somewhere you don't want it to. It's not gonna migrate quite as easily as a liquid blush. So I don't wanna say a good amount, but like I used a dollop and it was not too much. So I would definitely say that these are easier to use than the Rare Beauty. And this shade is really pretty. I think I put on too much because it's me. But once we put on the rest of our makeup, we can determine if we think that it's still too much. That's pretty. It's got a very natural, almost matte finish to it. And whenever I feel like I put on too much, I just go back over my blush with my foundation brush just to lighten some of those areas where I feel like I did too much. But then I always end up adding more blush at the end anyway, so what's the point? That's pretty. That's pretty. it's so hard for me to be like, yeah, I'm obsessed with it, because I'm not obsessed with any liquid blushes. Like, literally, I love the Sealy liquid blushes that are SPF 50, but even still, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to put it on because it's a liquid and it's like gonna go everywhere. But that's besides the point. So let's put this little topper bopper on. What I've been doing is kind of like rolling it up, and I've been using this brush from BK Beauty. This is the 109. It's kind of like a miniature version of my foundation brush, and I've been taking it on the side here and just kind of swiping it on the side to get an even coat on this brush. And then I've been putting it right on the apple my cheek for a little glow. Just like a really youthful glow. I love it. And I did not think I was going to. I really didn't. I just can't stop with the blush, can I? Anyways, I really want to eat it because it's like the most perfect pink color ever, and it kind of looks like a pink starburst. And it looks like a pink starburst on your cheeks. Look at the glow. No highlighter needed. Oh, so pretty. Okay, I'm feeling really good about the DRUGSTORE. So I'm not gonna do anything on my eyes. I'm just going to probably put a little something in my inner corner, which, sorry, I'm still obsessing over this Ilia stick that doesn't exist. They made these like eyeshadow crayons last year, sent them out in PR, and they broke in everybody's packaging. And so they discontinued it before it even came out. And sadly, they were a bomb. This one is broken inside the tube, so obviously they did need to fix it. But I still use this one every single day for my inner corner. So hopefully they come out with more, or they launch it. Okay, so for mascara, last time I used the new L'Oreal Panorama. And I said that I liked it, and I do like it. I'm not like really going for it all the time because I just dropped a mascara, but I am gonna wear my old tried and true favorite, which is the LA Girl Plush Lash. This was my favorite mascara for years. Obviously my mascara is my favorite now, but I will say, like, I don't know if it's that the formula has changed or if my opinion and my skin and my eyes have changed, but it is so dry. It is so dry, and I like it because when you first buy it, it feels like you've had it open for 2 weeks, but because I don't wear it every day, it is pretty freaking dry. So I'm going to curl my eyelashes and give it the old college try, even though she's dry. For the record, I still recommend this mascara because it is so fluttery and so pretty. It has a natural bristle wand, but the formula is just dry. She's dry. Which, a drier formula gives you the fluttery lash look, which is all I ever wanted, was to look like I had falsies on my eyes, even though they were my lashes. And the reason that falsies give off that look is because they're like so incredibly separated, because it's like it's dry. So I don't mind a dry formula, I actually prefer it, but it's not gonna give you va-va-voom like look. It's gonna give you a really natural wisp, which I love. So I still highly recommend this mascara, but because of its dryness, if you don't use it, it does get quite a bit flaky, but it is so pretty. Like, it literally finds every single eyelash that I have. If you told me that this lash was a falsie, I would believe you. Like, look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. But again, dry as a bone. Because my mascara is brown, every time I wear a black mascara, I'm like, okay, you're going out on the town? Like, it really does show up so dork. All right, I know that my freckle pen is not drugstore, but it is the best freckle pen in the world, so I have to use it. And for that, I apologize. Actually, no, I don't. You should get it, and you should try it, and then you'll never go back. It will be back in stock in, I think, early April, so very soon. I've been kind of liking not going too overboard and just having like a few on my nose because it looks uber natural. I always change up how I want to do it. All right, last thing we're gonna do is our lips. And I mentioned these in the last video, but I didn't use them. These are the new Colored Fetish Hydrating Lip Stains from Milani. These are sick. They're amazing. They're so beautiful. They're like a Korean lip stain formula, similar to the Fenty, similar to the Rare Beauty, and they're at a drugstore price. I usually, when I get PR, I give away most of the colors, and I could not do it because I liked this formula so much. And I want to use this pink shade today because, again, we're on the pink train. And what I'm gonna do is let it stain my lips, and then I'll probably wipe away some of the color on top and apply this gloss, because with these hydrating lip stains, they don't stay glossy very long, so I always just like to have something on top. I recommend that you put these on completely dry lips. Like, you want to make sure that they're dry so that the stain lasts. It has a really cute little doe foot, and this is in the shade Rose Rising. These do darken up quite a bit, just be aware when you put it on versus what they show up as at the end. See how it's darkening into like almost a berry shade, even though this one was called Rose. They get quite a bit darker, which I like because then the stain stays darker, but because a lot of the shades themselves are dark, almost all of these are gonna show up pretty pigmented on the lips. So this is what it looks like without anything else. It's literally just that, and it has a jelly consistency to it. I feel like these have to be made in Korea. Yep, made in Korea. They have that jelly Korean lip texture to them, but that doesn't always last, but the stain itself is so nice. So I'm gonna let it sit for like a minute or two, and then we will wipe that off and put the little lip oil on top. The little lip oil. All right, let's give it a little dab. and there's the stain left over. It's like a little bit less pigmented. Here's what was on the lips, and it's pretty transfer proof at this point. So that's why I like them, because it does give you a really, really nice stain that lasts for a while, even if the color itself is quite intense when it begins. So I'm just gonna use that Neutrogena lip oil on top for a nice shiny finish. And there you have it, a full face of good drugstore makeup. Love the way this look turned out. It's so pinky, it's so fresh. There's not even a highlighter on my face, but it looks so juicy. And I think it's really thanks to the skin tint and this new Pixie blush. This duo is really unstoppable. I really did like the camo blush as well. I was surprised by that. I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad you guys told me to try it. As well as, I gotta say, like, these blushes are very beautiful as well, the ones from Wet n Wild. Everything here is super affordable and available at your local drugstore. I hope that you guys pick something up. Let me know if you do, or if you have any other products that you think I should try from the drugstore, because I am back, baby. Original Rudy content is here to stay. So I will see you guys in the next one really soon, and I hope you have an amazing week. Bye.